when we all know that currently we are experiencing a phenomenal growth, and our country is experiencing that. In that regard, Sudhirji, I would like to ask you a question. In your opinion, what are the key factors, and what is the key factor which is driving the surge? And how can the entrepreneurs capitalize this emerging opportunity? Could you please share your thoughts on this?
Nehal, I'll just reiterate your question so that the communication is clear. In debate, normally that is so actually. When you ask question, if you repeat, that means I understood your question.
Sure.
So number one, you confirm that the India is growing. That is what you have confirmed, that India is on the growth path.
Absolutely.
And now you want me to tell that what are the enablers for this growth. So let me start. I think I can sit down. There is no issue on that. I can go there. See, we know that India is today number one in population, not China. China follows India now. And the population was an issue before 10, 15, 20 years. Now it has become an asset. So since the population is growing, their buying power is growing because India GDP today is around $3.8 trillion. That is on paper. If you take the unorganized sectors which are not accounted in economy, then we are already 5 trillion economy and we are number 3 already. There is no need to wait for 10 years. In my personal opinion, we are already 5 trillion economy. Now, why this is critical? Because if you have a mass population, you have a huge market. And if your buying power also goes up, then I think in the world, we are non-stoppable. And India is going to grow. As my personal opinion, I think for 15 to 20 years, I don't see any decay in growth. That is number one. Number two is that we have consecutive excellent monsoons. Now, still, whatever we talk about technology, the agriculture contribution to the GDP is in the range of 20 to 22%. And if there is a 22% and they are the largest employee in the country, now if they are empowered with money and with the social media, they know how to live the life now. Earlier people were not aware. So there is a hunger to live a better quality life. And that gives lot of momentum to market, especially e-commerce. Now everybody is going to the e-commerce. That is number 3. And the third thing in my opinion is that we have a stable government for last 10 to 12 years at center. And this government is committed to maintain the growth or accelerate the growth. And they are spending huge money, and they are lucky or they have managed to make sure that GST make their panel fat. And they have huge money collected through GST. Now that money is again used in infrastructure like road, power, airports, you name the things, and the money has been allocated unassuming. I think in the past it has never been spent so much of money in infrastructure. And fourth thing is that India has become one of the major service provider. Now, if when I talk about service provider, I will give you one example because I come from technology background. That today, IT and ITES in the current year, we will be exporting worth $250 billion worth of IT, ITES. I'm not talking about semiconductor. Now think of this, healthcare. You look at these things. One of the largest healthcare services are provided by India throughout the globe actually. So all these things put together, I think the growth is happening. Nehal, I think I answered your questions. These are the enablers for the growth actually. Now second question is that where this growth is happening? Now, I think this is most critical. The growth is there. If you want to become an entrepreneur, then you must know where the growth is happening. So in my opinion, the first today most talked about thing is not because I am coming from semiconductor, but I can tell you for sure that the semiconductor is one thing which is growing very rapidly in the country, and much more rapidly. ESDM, electronics product and system design, is growing much larger than that actually. Today, India consumes around 26 billion worth of semiconductor, and we consume around $100 billion worth of electronics product and system. In another few years, India is going to consume $110 billion of semiconductor, and we are going to consume $500 billion worth of electronics goods. If we don't manufacture Atmanirbhar, and if we don't set up such system over here, our electronics import goods will exceed the oil good bills. So this is first area, which is in my mind, that this is going very rapidly in this thing. Number two is cyber security. There is a huge demand in the world. The moment AI is becoming more powerful and it becomes everybody's use, people are forgetting Google now. People are talking only about ChatGPT. Now, how many of you are aware about what is GPT? We talk about ChatGPT. Anybody knows GPT? Generative pre-trained transformer. So, because of this, what has happened that you see in the news every day that somebody's fraud is there. He's cheated with a voice. He's cheated with a video. And if AI is going to spread to the common man, there are going to be huge issue of security. It's a big market of security. Third thing is healthcare. Today, India is, if you look at the IT spend, the number 3 spend in IT is in healthcare. So this is one area which is going to grow. You can give me the time when I have to stop actually. Before 2 minutes, you can tell me.
Yeah, we can.
Renewable energy. If you are reading the Times of India or following the news, India is going to add 128 gigawatt of renewable energy power in this year. And in coming years, 500 gigawatt of renewable energy power will be produced by the states which are run by BJP.
So now when we're going to have so many things, all these things coming up, I'm sure there are going to be a lot more challenges that are going to come up, right? So I think we will come back.
Challenges are there. When there's an opportunity, you can stamp as a challenge or you can stamp as an opportunity.
Absolutely.
I will take it as an opportunity. You can throw the challenge.
So once you tell us the opportunities, we will throw the challenges to one more panelist then.
Sure. Thanks. I will take it forward afterwards.
Yes.
I will. But I would like to tell that EV is another area, electronics vehicle, and the battery chargers requirements are going to be huge. Drone is another area. Likewise, I think there is a plenty of opportunity. You will get lost. There is no dearth of opportunity.
I think it's a plethora of opportunities that we have, and we have to just grab them.
If I cannot answer everything, I think we will meet over a dinner. Is there?
Absolutely.
So we can discuss over a dinner if it is there. So I think you can ask me a question, or afterwards you can throw a question to me through my email. I will publish my email, and we can take it forward. Because here we have to just see, these are all, whatever questions he's asking require full session.
Absolutely.
And he wants me to zip it in 5 minutes.
No, this is just an initial phase, and we are promising you that we will come up with each topic in detail very soon. So I think you've given us a lot of, I think a complete meal of opportunities, I would say. Thank you. So we all here know that we have so many opportunities, yet we are not able to grab these opportunities. Yet there is some resistance. Yet there is some hesitance. So there is some issue that is blocking somewhere, or maybe we can call it challenge or something as a bottleneck. So my next question here is this to Meena Ben, that powerful group, is one of its kind platform, but there are so many platforms like this, community platforms, who are supporting and connecting investors with entrepreneurs. So based on your experience, what are the major challenges that entrepreneurs face in securing funding, and how do these platforms can help overcome these obstacles? So what do you think are the challenges?
Thank you, Nehal. I'll take the second question first. What contribution can organizations?
These kind of platforms, how they can be helping in this regards?
The one way that they can help is in creating a platform where the investors and the entrepreneurs can actually meet, becoming a bridge, because most of the times entrepreneurs are not able. There's a lot of talk about so many investors and VCs, but you are not able to connect. The entrepreneurs are not actually able to connect. I mean, if I go 15 years back, I had to sit and wonder, look, I mean, go online, talk to people to find some contacts or some connect with an investor, probable investor. So I think the one thing that organizations such as yours can do is probably create a platform where you can go and search for possible investors. That is a very tough thing. We talk about it on stage, but we don't, we cannot connect. The entrepreneurs cannot connect. And entrepreneurs, when they're starting their business or when they are into their business, they're so much into MSMEs have a tough job at hand. You know, MSMEs have to play so many roles. So many roles, like at times you have to become an accountant, at times you have to become the clerk, at times you also have to serve tea. Those are the kind of roles that so I think that is one thing that organizations such as yours can do. About the first question, I usually do not go into data and all. I speak from experience. I am an entrepreneur. Can we have this later? I'm getting disturbed if you keep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
I'm so sorry for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I will speak from experience. I always speak from experience on stage. I am an entrepreneur, and data, project reports you can get online nowadays. All the information is available. So I'd rather speak what I have gone through and what has helped me as an entrepreneur in getting investors and getting funding. I started my journey 20 years back. I had a small garment unit, and today it is doing quite well. I was the person, it was not my husband. I have to mention that.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, the problem that we mostly face is that when we make a presentation to an investor, it could be bank, it could be a person, the presentation is very bookish. We hire agencies, we hire agents to make presentations for us, which will be very impressive on paper. So what I learned from experience is that the presentation you make for an investor, you have to be invested in the presentation yourself. You have to understand every line that has been written. If you cannot get the details, you at least have to have the zest of it. This is what this presentation is. You have to have proper market research. That is very important. I have been stuck at many places because I did not know what I was presenting, what market was, how the market was going to react to my product, or what kind of market my product could have. So investors, banks aside, when investors sit and talk to you, they are not looking only at the papers. They are also looking at you. They are also looking at your confidence. They are also looking at your vibe. Your enthusiasm may be so much, but the papers may not reflect that. Or
So,
your papers may be so strong, but you may not reflect that. So I feel the balance has to be there on your presentation on paper and the entrepreneur that you are. That has to match, and I think an investor catches the vibe mostly. The vibe,
absolutely.
yeah.
So
So
I think that's very important that, the startups, or I would say aspiring entrepreneurs, are really well prepared. And I think for being well prepared, everybody needs handholding. Everybody needs guidance. Everybody needs some kind of mentoring.
yes,
So without that, it's very difficult. And I think platforms like these, not
yes.
just one platform will help, because Amit Bhai had already said, thousands, karodo loco, everybody is waiting to become that. So I think we really need to make a larger platforms
See,
for
lot of
this.
platforms are there, Nehal, and I have been talking about these platforms on many platforms. But the point is, how many connections are there? We have to address
True.
that. How many are able to connect to probable entrepreneurs, and how many entrepreneurs are able to connect to them? That is the key point. There may be many schemes, government schemes, but the point is awareness, of course, and are you able to take advantage of those schemes? That is very important. So I think group like yours, they can play a key role there. All the young faces sitting here, please, young people have enthusiasm, that is there, but you need to study the project or the product that you are
So
into,
I
every small aspect.
absolutely, I
Yeah,
think that is when you're mentioning about this small aspect. I think the one aspect which you said was hand holding and mentoring plays a very important role. So
absolutely.
I think I would actually want to address this part of your challenge and probably take also some inputs from Manasvi Bhai. So Manasvi ji, since you have been, into mentoring a lot of people, This question I would like to ask to you that how do you see, what are these emerging trends that you see shaping the future of Indian entrepreneurs, and how particularly this mentorship can support them and handhold them?
See, mentors, it's working, yeah. Mentors don't create entrepreneurs. It is the entrepreneurs who create mentors. So that fire of entrepreneurship is an individual fire, and then you align with the kind of mentors you would need. Not audible. Now, वैसे भी सुनने लायक कुछ बोला नहीं मैंने अभी तक. What I was saying is mentors.
You nailed the point.
What I was saying was mentors don't basically create entrepreneurs. It is basically the entrepreneurs who create mentors. And if you have the fire inside you, if you want to do something, be it in the social sector, be it in any industry, you will you. Hello.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that mic works. Yeah. I think the mic needs a mentor. And that was his idea. So India is a land of opportunities, as we all know. Why? Because of a simple reason, because we have the largest population of the world. There's no big maths to this. And apart from this, the biggest problem which comes to my mind is chalega. Thank you. So the biggest problem what comes to the idea of India is right now the idea of use of data which is wasteful. I see the largest number of real users come from India. I see the largest number of Facebook status users coming from India. There is where the problem comes in. There is where the idea of shaping India is falling apart. The largest brain of any country is India. 1/6 of the world's brain is India. But the problem with the India brain set is that we are also the providers of the largest, cheapest internet users. And what is happening with the largest, cheapest internet users is that a person who's making a chai becomes more famous. A person who's giving his night and day on an IIT, on an IIM, studying hard is not that famous. So what is happening is a person who's famous without any skill is more valued than a person who's having a skill. So that is where I am in that pain of what is my future of my country going to be. There is deep tech, there is agri tech, there is AI, there is machine learning. Everything is good and great. There are the largest number of engineers coming from India being very successful. Not in India, but somewhere else in the world. There's the largest number of doctors coming out of India practicing not in India, but somewhere else in the world. Why? Because the opportunity is there. While we make in India, but the stuff should have been made in India. We should be proud of the fact that we have made in India idea. What is happening? The best German technology are the cars. The best, all the technologies come, AI did not come from India. Deep technology did not come from India. Machine learning did not come from India. While the largest number of engineers of all these companies are coming from India. The largest number of high-level individuals with brains are coming from India. So my pain is there. Why are we not able to skill up to the largest levels? So that's my pain. My pain is not that we are the largest population. We can do so much of things. There's so many industries there in the country which we can scale up. But still, in the large segment of things, we are not scaling up. So how do a richest person in India become rich? He only become rich by buying Indian properties, buying government properties. How do the richest person become rich in America? Is by creating intellectual property. How does Elon Musk becomes rich? He did not buy ports, he did not buy land, he did not buy agriculture in America. He created IP by SpaceX, he created IP by Tesla, he created IP by PayPal. That's how entrepreneurship is all about. So where is entrepreneurship lying in India? What is another thing which is worrying for me in India is the idea where we have so much of brains is that we are just copy pasting whatever is coming from America. Amazon had a replica in India and it became successful. My India story is very different from America. We do not have to ape or shape American ideas in India. Our ideology is different. Our languages are different, our buying capacity is also different. So the one thing which made Indian consumers internet ready was cash on delivery. That's a very small segment which was basically clicked by Flipkart. So how would you trust people to buy something online? Initially 10 years, 15 years back was cash on delivery. You'll pay only when there is delivery at your doors. This was not a concept of America. So what is happening right now? Our startups are basically last mile startups. They are turning out to be delivery startups. They are turning out to be platforms. But the deep tech which we need to develop in our country, though we have the talent, though we have the infrastructure, we don't have that will. As my friend Amit bhai in the last statement, he said, it was a very logical statement which he made, that what is happening in India, I'll broaden it further, was pre-independence, we just had one East India company. Right now, we have thousands of East India company. What is happening in India right now is Jack Ma is investing in India, Amazon is investing in India, SoftBank is coming in India. Lots of investment is coming in India. Tiger Global is in India. So lots of investing. QA is in India since not right now, since last couple of decades. So why are they in India? The idea is we as Indians don't understand our advantage. Our advantage is the largest consumer base of the world is India. The largest educated consumer is India. The largest internet user is India. So we are the largest marketplace for the world. There is no science in this. So we are the market for the world. Now my question, what comes to my mind is, being the market is one part. It's a great advantage for companies. I want an India wherein we become the largest company base for the world. We should not be the market for the world. India should be the incubator wherein we create markets all across the world, including India. One third of our trade during the 16th and the 17th century of the world's trade was coming from India. That was the advantage of India. And right now we are just 1.3% of the trade is happening across the world from India. So that's a large gap.
So
Our ancestors were the greatest traders. Our ancestors were the greatest business people of the world. Now it's about recoming of it. That's what we need to do. Once we attain that understanding that yes, we can do it, I think there is no stopping back, because we have the talent. Earlier, 15, 20 years back, we didn't have that infrastructure. Skill gap was there, but now that has been fulfilled. We all know
So-
how to use smartphones. We all know how to order stuff. We all know how to use chat GPTs. We all know everything. Only thing is we need to create that will to do something. Thank
so
you.
I think absolutely that is the most important aspect addressed. And each one of us here know that we can, each one of us become an entrepreneur. I think it's more about, how many of you believe here to be entrepreneurs? You believe that you're all entrepreneurs? How many of you believe? Raise your hands. If we believe, all our hands should be up, because if we believe, we can make it. Right? I think that's what this panel is all about. If we believe, we can make it. That's what Meena ji said. That's what even Manasvi ji is saying. And to add on to that, I would still come to the next question. Definitely, entrepreneurs create the mentors, of course, but mentorship also definitely plays an important role. And my question to Kunaal ji is, how crucial is this role for entrepreneurial success? How can we create a robust ecosystem of mentoring for aspiring entrepreneurs?
First thing is that everyone needs to understand what are they working on. In India, we basically categorize things into, like, for example, is the person into which stage? Is he into mentoring stage? Is he in the incubation stage? Or he's directly into funding stage? That's what entire Think Powerful group does. How we bucket it is basically simple. We understand the product and service that you are dealing with and bucket it into 4 different categories. First, what are you really adding to this world? Are you making it bigger? Or are you making it better? Or are you making it cheaper? Or are you making it unique than anything else? If I figure out that where your product lies, this is basically the foundation of why India is growing that much, because we do everything bigger, better, and cheaper than anyone else, right, everyone? Every mission of ISRO, every mission of whatever Indians are doing, the entire capacity of outsourcing, the reason why entire world is looking at us is because we proved that we could outsource is better for everyone else. Now, like Manasvi said, it's time for us to do something. Why? Because the world is watching us. Now, if you could figure out where you are as a startup or as a company in this stage, what are you value adding to this world? Are you making things bigger? Or are you making things better? Or are you making things cheaper? I think so. That should be the start of every mentorship. And mentor would be much more happy to handhold you and not just get you investments, but get you the right strategic people to run behind you so that you become successful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So thank you, Sudhir bhai. Thank you, Meena Ben. Thank you, Manasvi ji, and thank you, Kunaal. This entire aspect that till now you've shared on, how the startups should, you know, what challenges they face, how they should, overcome these challenges. Now, one more thing I would like to.
Let's have questions from audience. When again you
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm almost just doing that.
then
That's what I was about to say, and that is why I said thank you to you all. So we do have time, and I'm keeping a watch on the time.
no, what I'm saying is let have a question.
Absolutely, that's what I'm trying to do. Thank you. So I just would like to say that before we proceed, I think Manasvi ji said that let's have some questions. So we will first have some questions from the audience. Anybody would like to ask any questions? Yeah, we're just coming back to that. Just a few questions and we come back to that. Yeah, sure. Would you like to respond to it first before we go ahead? Yeah, please.
I will make it only short and 2 minutes, but that's what goes in my mind actually, because you made a very strong statement, and I am resilient to that statement actually, because if you look at the history, China has picked up. Technology was always in US, and then followed by Japan and Europe and other people, and German was in manufacturing. China has decided to go on manufacturing, and every company of the world has invested money in China, and they are taking it back. So there is nothing new. If foreign investors are investing in India, I think we should make use of that actually. So it is a welcome thing. If somebody is investing, at least if India, we were poor country 20 years before. Before 2000, very few crore-patis were in the country. Whatever money has happened in the country is in last 24 years. Yeah, that is what my memory says. That is what my experience says. Now, if you look at the unicorn people, there are 250 unicorn has been created in the country. You take Zomato, even you take about Amazon and Flipkart. Flipkart was acquired for 18, I think $6 billion or $18 billion by Amazon. You take Zomato, you take Ether, you name, I can give a list of 100 companies who are created in the country and they are doing extremely well actually. So I think all is not as bad as we are indicating, but it is not all that rosy as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for adding that. So, audience, any questions? We would like to take questions from you all first.
Yeah, you can stand up.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Start with the name.
Yeah, I am Neha, and I had a question for Mr. Manasviji. That I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Because I can.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So basically, I agree to his statement that entrepreneurs create mentors. But don't you feel that at some point of time, when they are into that startup journey, they really get stuck up and they need a clear roadmap to move ahead, and there it is when mentors are the godfathers for them.
Manasvi ji.
So, what happens here is that the largest number of incubators in the world comes from India, and we are the largest incubators of the world, wherein what the study says is most of the unicorns, it's not the idea. All the unicorns whichever have come in India or are made in the last couple of decades did not come from incubators. So what happens with the go-getters is I run the largest mentorship company of the country, which is Indus Mentor. So we provide mentorship. What when you require mentorship is the stage when you understand you need a mentor, not when there is a mentor and you go to him and then there is a consultant relationship. So what happens was then one of the largest, one of the very big advertising guru was Prahlad Thaker. He's on panel of our mentorship board. So there was this guy who wanted to connect with Prahlad Thaker, but the query was very, very niche. The query was related to that: how do I take up or scale up my marketing idea to the next level so that my consumers understand? That was a very that understanding was from the founder's perspective, that he knew what kind of mentor he needed, and that's where the role of mentorship would come. You cannot have a mentor who's there with you 24 into 7. You should have a mentor when you understand that this is my query. From my perspective, when I deal into companies and when so where am I? Where do I come as a mentor? I don't come as a mentor on a daily basis for companies. My expertise is limited to legal understanding. My expertise would be limited to funding because we have a venture fund. My expertise would be leading to blockchain and Web3. My expertise would lead to only raising funds through IPO. These are my expertise. I can't go into manufacturing. I can't teach you how to create systems. I can't teach you which are the best logistics supply chain management.
See.
So you cannot have a full-time mentor. So what you have to do is, so you should have a board of mentors. I'll
Yes.
tell you how. What you do is, when initially when I started my career, was this is good for startups also. So what you do would be, there would be board of directors. It could be your father, it could be your husband, it could be your wife, it could be some expert in the field. You can have them without any payrolls. So I have these board of directors. There are a couple of professors at IIM. There are political people whom I consult. Even they don't know they are my mentors. So I just go to them, have a Starbucks, have a coffee with them, have a vada pav with them, and I talk about random stuff, and also I talk about my stuff with them. They may have an idea of my problem, they may not have an idea, but they'll give me some kind of wisdom which they'll carry. So that's how you can create a set of mentors. I think in this group there would be around 50-60 mentors, but you should first identify your problem. So when I say that entrepreneurs create mentors, is it's that Vivekanand and Ramakrishna. So you have to be that Vivekanand to make sure that there is Ramakrishna. You cannot be a Ramakrishna and then you create Vivekanands. It is basically vice versa.
Vice versa.
But first, you should be that entrepreneur. You'll find your problem. You have to find your problem, and mentors will come in on board.
I guess for that we need to have a clarity of more of a goal and all for that, of certain level of goals
So
that
basically, yeah, Meena ji is right. Basically, we need to have an outline of what our business is, because unless and until we know, and it's our dream, our ambition, right? Many of us have not many ideas, but it's one idea that we want to actually convert into a lucrative or maybe a social impact business.
जैसे आपने अभी किया ना, this is the right approach. आप यहां पे आए, that's the first step. आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा, that's the next step. फिर मेंटर की वो क्वालिटी है या क्वालिफिकेशन है आपको आंसर से सेटिस्फाई करने की, वो मेंटर के ऊपर है. शायद मेरा आंसर बकवास होगा, शायद आपको नहीं कन्विंसिंग लगा होगा, so you can move on to another mentor, you can move on to someone else. So that's where your entrepreneurship skill would justify your business. Don't stick to one mentor. Mentors may have their own limitations. I would come from my background of limitations and wisdom. I have my own set of failures, I have my own set of successes. I'll judge your question through my wisdom. So you may not get that answer, but you'll get that wisdom कि शायद मनस्वी को ये आंसर नहीं पता, तो शायद कुणाल के पास ये आंसर होगा, शायद सुधीर जी के पास एक आंसर होगा. तो इस तरीके से you evolve.
Yeah.
So your question is very right. Answers may be
Absolutely.
different.
yeah, so that's how the roadmap begins. I
That's
guess.
how you'll
True,
start getting.
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
So I think hopefully, Neha, your question has been answered.
A correctly articulated problem on a paper is half solved.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. You've taken away my lines. So, any more questions? Anybody would like to ask anything further?
My question is to the panel.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted to know about where is the segment of social entrepreneurship in this unstoppable entrepreneurship, leveraging the growth of India, where social entrepreneurship lies.
Kunaal, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, okay. So, sustainability as a value for any organization is must today. Like, for example, we are moving at an age where we are continuously criticizing, how diesel, how petrol vehicles are really polluting the world. I was in Delhi yesterday, and the solar board itself was researching on something, and I got this report from them. Right, solar panels are very good at you know spreading clean energy, and all these EV vehicles will have solar panel charging systems and everything. But then all the EV vehicles in 15 to 20 years time, their batteries would be again prone to recycling, which can create more pollution than what petrol diesel can actually do. So, what is the definition of clean energy? So, if I was in that sector, I would first understand that is my business really solving problem or creating more problems that I am solving again? So if on the social side, if you could contribute, like if you go one step extra than your CSR funds, and if you understand that if I am a human being and if I inhale oxygen and give carbon dioxide, how much carbon dioxide as an individual, as a family, as an organization I have really produced? Have I planted that many trees that I have coped my own carbon dioxide in the world? And if that feelings comes in, that type of feeling, I just gave you an example, but that if that kind of feeling comes in, and if you embed that, integrate that in your business, I think so you can become a social entrepreneur, from the day two. Thank you.
I think we all have to take up that ownership. As citizens, we all have to, take up that ownership of taking up that responsibility part of, creating sustainable, all businesses to be sustainable. I wouldn't say just sustainable India, but I think each and every aspect it should be sustainable. So, further asking, yeah.
Because I belong to the education dynamic profile, I just have a very simple question. What is the kind like entrepreneur? Thank you so much. Entrepreneurs, what mistakes they should avoid? Sorry, I should stand.
What mistakes
What
the entrepreneurs
basic
should
mistakes as
avoid?
entrepreneurs? Because nowadays it's like we want to imbibe into students,
By
into
not
everybody.
making mistakes. Make mistakes. That's it. There are no
So I
mistakes
would
which you
say,
can avoid.
so can I reframe it instead of mistakes? I should say that what kind of things they should avoid when they are starting their journey as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
नहीं, tell me your mistake which you are committing. तो हम लोग आपको
I am not an entrepreneur. I'm just saying that, yeah, service saying something.
It is vertical based. Or whatever you are asking cannot be, there is no general guideline to do these things. It all depends on which vertical you are working, where your entrepreneur is talking about, and what you are up to. Then there is a specific roadmap for that. Actually, I can give you 10 reasons for semiconductor, electronics, and ESDM, but I can give you 0 reasons for education.
Yeah, ma'am also has something. Understood, sir.
So I will share mistakes, my experience. As I said, I don't share gyan. I don't have gyan. I will share what I've been through. So one major mistake that we make as entrepreneurs is allocating the money that we have in different. Like when we start business, we are so enthusiastic. Suppose we have 10 lakh rupees. If I have 10 lakh rupees, I'm so gung ho when I start my business. I invest all of it in machine. I am into manufacturing, so I speak that language. I invest everything into the top machines, everything, and oh, I'm ready to manufacture now. What I don't realize is that I will be needing much more money when I start rolling. So I think that is one major mistake that all of us make. I also made it and I learned from experience that you allocate the money that you have 5 lakh, you have 50 lakh, you have 5 crores, whatever you have, in such a way that you have money left when you actually the business starts rolling. Because 6 months, 1 year into business, that is when you're going to need more money than what you invested initially. So I also have a question, Nehal. As a panelist, I have a question to the audience. And I have been on many panels, and it's not against any panelist, but this is my experience. I want to ask you that when you sit in front of a panel, see to it, or do you take one point home which is useful to you, not in sense of enhancing your knowledge, but in the sense of enhancing your business? You have to, audience will decide what the panels are going to be in future. You have to decide. You don't come here and give us 1.5 hours of your time and take back nothing. You have to take away. So I hope it's a question and it's a suggestion that there has to be that one takeaway. I, as an entrepreneur, I think the takeaway for me on this panel is that he funds, he gives funds, he's an investor. That would be my takeaway. So I request all of you, be very specific, be very, even in your clappings, even in your adulation, be careful what you clap to. You have to clap to the point that makes a difference to you. I may be impressive, I may not be impressive. He may be impressive, he may not be impressive. What impresses you is your takeaway. So thank you.
Thank you, Meena Ben. Thank you so much for this. Before we proceed, just a minute.
I just need a minute to actually respond, because see, we are talking all about money and mistake and all those things, but there is a software aspect of the entire business. And I think biggest mistake entrepreneurs are doing is there is a word called empathy. Now, the Gujarati word is samvedna. If you don't have empathy for the people with whom you work or people who work for you, you are not going to succeed. Number two, there is nothing like Sethia and Knocker. Now I think that time has gone actually. And still we are not able to come out of that master slave phenomena in our mind actually. Everybody is a equal partner in the business. And unless and until everybody decides to grow, one person can not grow even after working for 24 or 26 or 30 years.
Absolutely.
So that is number two actually. And number three, that whatever profit you generate, you should be able to share with all the employee. If you want to make money only yourself, then I think you don't have place for business in this world, at this century. This is a century where you make money and distribute money. Then and then you will sustain your business. One of the key parameter of sustainability is empathy, respecting your colleagues, and sharing your profit and helping them.
Thank you. Before we move ahead, yeah, before we move ahead, I'll come to both of you. I also have one question, being an entrepreneur myself. When Meenaben said this, one very important question I feel, especially being women entrepreneurs, that there are so many policies, so many, schemes from government, and especially for women. But somewhere I feel there is a lot of lack of either knowledge. I think not knowledge, because I think we all read newspapers, we all hear about these policies, but there is something which is missing. So could you please highlight, being a woman entrepreneur, that what is this problem that we are not able to, actually reach out to funds or really start up the business, especially this is for women entrepreneurs.
Very rightly pointed out, Nehalben. And I have been working with women entrepreneurs for long now. On part of the women entrepreneur, the problem is the confidence. She lacks the confidence in asking questions. As he said, the start was she asked a question. So most of the times we hesitate in asking questions, whether my question would be right. Am I asking the right question? Is it right to ask this question? I think women need to work on that. And on part of the agencies, the government agencies, the funding agencies, the problem is their fine print. I have this issue with government policies. I have this issue with banking policies. The fine print that they have, the bold print will be very attractive. So we need to work both ways. We need the women. See, one major aspect of a woman going to a government agency and asking the details of any policy, she is so hesitant And there comes the retort from the government officer. Aapko kya pata, kya chahiye? That is where they just snub her, that is a problem. So you need people, you need help desks where a woman can go and confidently ask, the other person will not put her down, that she does not have enough knowledge. And secondly, the policies also that we talk about, a lot of change needs, but that's a long discussion.
Sure.
So another session maybe.
I think here, at least all the women entrepreneurs who are present here, all the women, in fact, I wouldn't say entrepreneurs, but every woman out here, please encourage a person right next to you and ensure that if she wants to become an entrepreneur, she has to be.
Neha,
So
I
please
will,
support them.
sorry, but I want to add one thing that usually when a woman comes to you, most women in middle class are into food, jewelry, garments maybe.
Garment.
And they say the first statement that make is, Madam, maru to bau nano business hai. This is one permanent
No
statement.
business is small.
No business is small. That is what, product is not small. They have to understand that. McDonald's is just a vada pav. That is my, it's just
No
a vada-
idea is small, no business is small. It can be scaled to a level that can be global. And we all should remember that. Moving further, I think we have a question here. Please give him the mic. Thank you. Yes.
Hello? Huh.
Yeah.
Can you, it was really nice session. On behalf of audience, I am working as a government officer in Industries and Mines Department and was looking after startups and all that from Government of Gujarat, Sachivalay, Gandhinagar. My question is, starting a business is not a startup. Papa's business is not a startup. Starting a shop is not a startup actually. The thing is, there should be an innovation in a startup. There was a no taxi available and they have started Ola and Uber. That's a startup. And there is a no one giving you food at your doorstep and they started Zomato. That is a startup. There is a detailed policy in government of Gujarat which helps people to start their business, but there has to be a innovation. You cannot start any business and name it as a startup. There is a committee, state level, honored, chaired by the Honorable Chief Minister. They scrutinize everything, whether your product is innovative or not, is it that comes for the first time or not. The Nykaa is a startup because they are selling makeup and they have super HD photos. You can distinguish the difference between small color details which actually women want. So there is a misconception between a startup that let's do a business. It's my startup. It's not at all startup because startup is a very new phenomena. It's coming from last 10 years only. Business are from last 5,000 years. So I want to tell and ask the honorable members who are sitting here to throw some lights over is it kind of innovation things and remove this misconception between this audience and all people. Thank you.
So I'll repeat the question that we would like to know from the panelist, that startup is not just, talking about any shop or anything. It's about innovating an idea and innovation. So could you please share your thoughts on this? Yes, please.
This is from NVIDIA CEO.
Yeah.
What NVIDIA, I think everybody knows. It's one of number 2 or number 3 market cap company in the world actually. And what he says, there is innovation is not about inventing something great. It is about improving what already exists. And if you want to see the classic cases in the country, then you look at the open networks. How many of you have worked the open network e-commerce, open network fintech, open network on healthcare? So what they have done, that India as a country is not investing anything in AI technology. They are working on utilizing the AI to create a business opportunity. And I think today we are the largest people in the world who has a digital payment, and they are based on this open network like UPI, what you say. It is created by not inventing anything, but creating a platform through which you can transit actually from one place. Same thing is happening for bank. Same thing is happening in the agriculture. So it is not necessary that you should invent everything. So I beg to differ with you. But if you can improvise on what is already invented, I think there is a lot of money, and it is a scalable business. Any business which is not to the scale of people, which cannot be democratized, and which cannot impact the life of a common man, has a limited value. Any innovation, any improvement you do it, the goal should be three. Is it scalable to the value of people? Can it impact the common man in the world or in the country? Then and then that innovation is helpful. Baki ideas are always great, but if they don't have commercial value, it remains on prototype. And we don't want anything which remains on the prototype after wasting so much of our time, actually. So innovation is good, but it requires, just to give you example, Apple is spending 25 to 30 billion dollar on R&D. That is why they can have the mobile which can do a 3 trillion transactions per second. India spends, all collectively, all companies do not spend even 25 billion dollar for R&D. So we cannot innovate. Let's not think we can have a small innovation on existing thing, actually. So, and that is writing the application. To give you these things, Google Play, from the when you download the app, do you know how much money they make? They make $25 billion only from that, actually.
But then if it was an Indian app, we would think to download.
Yes.
Do you all agree to that? Yeah?
Google, for that matter.
So who are responsible for scaling it up?
Nehal, your question is very right, and I think that's a very important question for all the startup enthusiasts to understand, because that is someone who's from the industry. What he's trying to convey was that there is a startup as per definition of Gujarat government and government of India. If you fall in that category, you are a recognized startup. What he tried to say was that every business is not a startup. Like I come from a legal background, my would not categorically be defined as a startup as per the definition of government of India as per the policy, and that policy was also drafted by me. So just to add that clarification, that is what it is. So if you fall in that definition of startup, you would be a recognized startup which will have some kind of policy level benefits given by the Sarkar to you to start your business. That's what he tried to meant to the panel also, and also he wanted to educate all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bring
Thank
it
you
up.
for clarifying that. Thank you, Manasvi. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to them only. Thank you.
Okay, so
Please go
hello,
ahead.
my name is Jahan Kapoor and मैं अभी भी कॉलेज में हूँ and जैसे कि
We are not audible.
okay, hello.
Yeah,
Done?
that's
Done?
better.
Okay. Jahan Kapoor. Yes, so I am still in college and yes, so like मीना मैम ने जैसे बोला कि आजकल के स्टूडेंट्स में फायर है ही नहीं अंदर, मतलब बहुत कम है उनको कुछ कर नहीं मैम. So एक बार मैं बोलूँ प्लीज. थैंक यू.
Yes, please.
So in my college there is a triple I cell. By the way, I belong from Nirma University. My alumni is here only, Manish sir. So वहाँ पे मैंने एक चीज़ देखी, जो बच्चे जो 9.5 8.5 CGPA वाले भी थे, उनमें वो कुछ फायर नहीं थे, कुछ भी करने. जैसे कि मेरा एक आइडिया था, आई एम वर्किंग ऑन इट, इट्स अबाउट AI इन प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट. आई एम फ्रॉम सिविल बैकग्राउंड, दैट्स व्हाई. सो वहाँ पे इवन अ एजुकेटेड पर्सन, इवन अ टैलेंटेड पर्सन, उसको करने की चाहिए नहीं, उसको करना ही नहीं था. ही इज लाइक कि ओके ना, कर लेंगे, देख लेंगे, हो जाएगा. सो फॉर एनीवन आउट हियर जो स्टार्टअप करना चाहता है, फिर कोई भी करना चाहता है, मैं मेंटरशिप आपसे आइडिया लेना चाहता हूँ फ्रॉम द पैनलिस्ट कि हाउ कैन यू फाइंड दैट पर्सन हु हैज दैट फायर एंड हु हैज दैट टैलेंट. वो आप कहाँ पे ढूंढ सकते हो, कैसे ढूंढ सकते हो, और क्या प्रोसेस कोई होती है या फिर क्या होता है?
So you are
Just one
talking
question.
about fire and talent in finding a
No.
mentor, or you're talking about startup?
No, I am talking about anyone who is trying to hire a talent or a person जो उसके गोल से अलाइन कर पाए अपनी चीजों को. बिकॉज nowadays हमारे इंडिया में टैलेंट है, बट द इशू इज उनको करना नहीं है.
यानी कि जो स्टार्टअप
lazy,
एज
they
ए
are
स्टार्टअप आपको जो करना है, आपके जैसे और लोग कैसे ढूंढें,
Exactly.
एंड हाउ टू बिल्ड अ टीम, है ना?
टीम बिल्डिंग का
राइट.
मेरा
आई थिंक
थोड़ा सा
उन्होंने
mentorship
बहुत
करना है.
इम्पोर्टेंट
Thank
पॉइंट
you.
बोला है. टीम बिल्डिंग बहुत बहुत जरूरी है to cultivate absolutely culture of collaboration होना चाहिए, तभी हम startup ecosystem जो बोलते हैं ना वो
यहाँ पे सारे जो लोग बैठे हैं ना, इन सब में कुछ ना कुछ फायर है, तभी वो यहाँ पे बैठे हैं। यहाँ पे अगर आप अपनी प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट भेजेंगे ना, जैसे अभी आपका शायद डिनर सेशन भी है, इसके बाद आप लोग अगर एक दूसरे से इंटरेक्ट करेंगे ना, तो शायद आपको फायर वाले लोग मिल जाएंगे जो आपकी कैटेगरी में फायर वाले हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप में फायर है ये पता चल जाता है बिकॉज यू वांट टू फाइंड समवन हु इज इक्वली पैशनेट अबाउट डूइंग समथिंग विद यू। तो आई इनवाइट यू, आपको कोई भी लाइफ में इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्रिएटिंग अ स्टार्टअप कुछ भी रिक्वायरमेंट हो, फ्रॉम फंडिंग टू एनीथिंग, from mentorship, come to me, take my number from Nehal, and I'll guide you and assist you wherever it is required.
I think आपको आपका जवाब इधर ही मिल गया.
Yeah.
I will like to add to this, especially because it is asked from university student, and being a mother of a teenager who has just started his first year of college, I would like to add one point of my experience here. My son was doing a research on learning disabilities in grade somewhere 10th, 11th. He just came across this when he was helping students in coding. As we all know, when it was pandemic, everybody was online. And he, with his mentor, was supporting students to understand basic coding. That's when he came across, few students, and we have the supervisor from that organization here also within us, amongst us right now. So she actually told us that she wants some students to learn coding, and he figured out that some of them have learning disabilities. The first aspect was to find out a mentor. Right? He cannot do it alone. 10 साल का 10th standard का बच्चा है, how will he know? And that's when I think as a parents, this is one thing to all the parents, that if your kid comes up with an idea, do not discard it. Support in every possible way to make that happen. And that's how he could get a mentor from IIT to actually take ahead his entire innovation. So I think that's very, very important. And that's one thing as a parent I would like to share with all audience out here. So we have
मेरे ऊपर उन्होंने एक छोटा सा इल्जाम लगाया है मुझे क्लैरिफाई करना है. मैंने ऐसे नहीं कहा है, और अगर ऐसा समझा गया है तो माफी चाहती हूँ. मुझे एक अप्रिसिएशन जो नाम क्या बताया आपने, कपूर जी, कपूर जी नहीं, छोटा बच्चा है, लेकिन मेरे हार्दिक अभिनंदन आपको कि आपने खड़े होके हिंदी में बात की है ना. ये हमें और ज्यादा करना पड़ेगा. और जैसा उन लोगों ने कहा, बाकी मैंने ऐसा नहीं कहा है. और गुरु हमारे पुराने शास्त्रों में कहा गया है कि लगे रहो, गुरु आपके पास आएंगे. आप लगे रहे और गुरु आ गए.
I think उनका opening statement ही यही था, that the entrepreneurs need to come and mentor will support. So yeah, we'll just come to you after. So you have one more addition.
उसको ज्ञान वाले नहीं, उसको फायर वाले लोग चाहिए थे. ज्ञान वाले तो मिल जाते हैं, फायर वाले कम मिलते हैं.
So we can start exploring.
मैं वहां पे भी जाता हूँ.
We can start exploring, and I think that's the purpose also, one of the reason why we have this discussion today. Most of the discussion is, people speak and the audience listen, and that's what we are trying to do, that audience ask the questions and we are able to cater to it. Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, I am Vijay Parekh, a senior member of AMA since 1988. So, summation, but first thing I will like to thank this powerful group organizers. So, to arrange such a program for startup or initiating or any problems or any discussion about the startup, and in Gujarat and in Ahmedabad and at AMA is a very good thing, and it is the demand of day. So we have to congratulate and thank all the organizers and for all of us that we are here. Yeah. The question was not just a question, but it is just like an initiation, about initiation and stagnancy. So in the title itself, it is told that unstoppable entrepreneur and the growth of India leveraging. So when this kid or whatever this young chap told us, accordingly, we have to be incubators, as Amit bhai told that incubation centers are there at university or some. It can be there like EMA and other professional organizations also. So we have to coordinate the means and the organization and the platforms, just like powerful group. So what we are going to do after this question, the mentor also may some clarify and give details about the powerful group. So at powerful group or EMA or the incubation center or even at some NGOs or at some social platform also, we have to be some incubation center like who may help and be kind and help in any way for the initiators to initiate and move forward for the startup. And the other thing that the unstoppable, because there is stagnancy, there are unicorns, 800 unicorns are required, but there are not such, and there is a stagnancy. Manasvi may we agree with that. So we have to be not only startup builders or startup organizers, but we have to be unicorns and not even unicorns. Why not? We should be there. There should be IBM and there should be X platform. Everything in India may happen. So is unstoppable. So to move or proceed the existing startups and to make it uniform and the initiation stage, both powerful group and we all can help the people and maybe grow all together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll take that up. Nehal, I'll
yeah.
take that up in 2 minutes. Okay. So first of all, in the powerful group, if you look at the website, the kind of articles that we declare every week or something like that, we never talk about startups. We always talk about entrepreneurs. Because no matter your business is like 15 years old or 50 years old or 100 years old or maybe 2 years old, we have equality in terms of what we treat your business to. Because each day is a new day in business. So if each day is a new day in business, which means that your business is new every day. So you can't tell that since you are a 50-year-old business, you will be successful. No. Google has been unsuccessful in an online project 90% of the times. So point number one, we are an entrepreneurship improvement and development cell. How did the word leverage the growth of India came in basically? When I was one of the keynote speakers at 2023 G20 summit, I came across so many people and so many problems of other countries that we don't face, which makes us a cocoon for everyone to have eyeballs on. So the point being is that entire world is looking at us in a very different way it was looking at us 20 years back. Everyone has a huge expectation of us. And I know that we can be successful in turning the table and become a superpower in a different way than what we are today. So Powerful Group is all about helping that platform. And as everyone told here, that if your project is innovative, if your project is good to go, we have funds to back that up. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we can just take only one last question if there is. Otherwise, we can proceed ahead because we almost 8:25. Yeah, that I will be doing.
Sir,
This will be the last question.
what should be the stage of the maybe it should be ideation stage or it should be already in progress, or what should be the stage when we come approach you for any help or mentorship or something like that?
Today.
Okay.
So no matter, so as Manasvi rightly said, you need help, we are there. Something like that. You should always think about every decision. So please understand, please understand, the largest, best decision makers in India are Supreme Court judges. right? They take the best decisions in India. You all agree that they are more qualified to take decisions than anyone else, right? Everyone agrees, but they don't take a decision on the spot. They go through each person in the case and then take a decision. So if the person who is said to be the highest decision maker in this world is asking for help from so many people, then who are we to take decisions right now? You know? So each and every step, there will be a person who has done the same journey as you are doing right now, failed, did it again, failed again, did it again, failed again, and then became successful. So you need to know how many things you have failed. So the answer is today.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I think this would be the last question. So now I'll request all the panelists here to share their thoughts, and sum it up as about the unstoppable entrepreneur. So each one of you, if you could just probably give your thoughts on this.
We'll start with Sudhir ji because I'll take the least time.
I always keep talking that it's very specific thing actually. Unstoppable business, there are variety of business and there are different reasonings and different reason of failures actually. But I think to take up this matter of how it becomes unstoppable, first thing is never outsource your sales when you are starting the business. This is one thing which you should not do the mistake. The CEO has to do the sales till it becomes mature. What works at 1 million will not work at 4 million. What work at 4 million revenue will not work at 20 million. Every stage, the dynamics are going to change and you have to have different kind of mentor or help and you should know how to get the help. So CEO should not sit in the glass cabin. He should be in the market and he should get the pulse. That is number 2 actually. Number 3 is that what kind of technology or services or a product is in the market. So you have to, now nothing is India, everything is global. Think global. If you think about only about India, you are not going to scale. I can guarantee you. You will do some minuscule business and make 20, like with typical Gujarati traders. I need 1 crore rupees and from commission I will get 1 crore and happy about it. Then you be among million. If you want to be different, then you have to have a different look. Go outside to Europe there are a lot of fairs are happening. Like in electronics, there is a consumer show, CSE is happening, Hanover fairs are happening. Go there and see that what is coming in 2 years time and take up some ideas from there and then play on that actually. Number 3, you should create a team and they should take the decision. It should be a democratic decision. You can take a final decision at your call, but take input from everybody because no one person has 100% brain actually. And 2 things, I will give you 2 small anecdote. I think there is one slide I want you to display, 1 or 2 or 3 slides are there. Yeah, it will take 2 minutes, but it has a lot of meaning into it actually.
Is this the one?
This is the one, first slide. No, first there is a circle number. So I will tell two anecdotes.
Interesting.
You can display that. Meanwhile, I can give 2 small anecdotes actually. Number 1 is that Jason Hang, who is the CEO of NVIDIA, who is a $2.8 trillion organization today, he said that when there is a gold rush, people are rushing to mine the gold from the gold mine. He said we started selling the shovels and manpower to dig the things. And that's why the Chat GPT or OpenAI, their market cap is 150 billion US dollar. Against that, NVIDIA, who is making the chip for AI, is 2.8 trillion dollar. Who is smarter? NVIDIA is smarter. And all the chips are going into AI. NVIDIA 100% chips are going into AI. Now the guy who has invented the AI, GPT fellow, he is 150 billion dollar today. And this fellow is 2.8 trillion dollar. That is number 1. Number 2 is, Mullah Nasruddin. You must have heard his name. Now what he was doing, he was going to the other nearby country and bringing the goods through on his donkey. So the guy who was sitting on the border was always suspecting. that this guy is smuggling something. So he always tried to go through everything on the donkey, they upload, download, go to the miniest, smallest thing he want to check. It went on for 3 months. Ultimately, the guy who was there at the custom, he retired. Then he asked one day, Mullah Nasruddin, I am 100% sure that you are smuggling goods, but I am not able to, I have not been able, I have failed. So what is that, how did you manage that? He said, I have never smuggled the goods. I was smuggling donkeys. So it all depends. What do you look at it actually? So I am throwing some numbers.
Yes, sir.
Just, yeah. Then I will not talk on numbers. I'll just show the numbers. And
We've started the interesting wheel chart about
Yeah,
India. That's
yeah,
the one?
yeah.
Yes. It's already, it's that side, this side.
Huh?
sir.
It's not here. It's not coming here.
Yes, yes, yes. हाँ, बाजू से.
अच्छा ये स्क्रीन पे है ना क्या see I think if you can keep spinning this wheel you will get hundreds of business idea. I will just give you only pick up one number, that Zomato. You see how much goods how many online Zomato orders are there. It is half of the population of US that we order every day on Zomato. Our internet users are 3 times the populations of US. Now, this is a big business opportunity. We have a 50,000 kilometer of roads, highways. We can have a hybrid power there. Windmill, because all are going at 100 kilometer per hour speed, and we can have the solar power there actually. We can do all that things. Same thing we can do in railway. So I think
So
opportunities
I think opportunities are a
plenty.
lot.
Number 2,
So
next slide.
we will.
Next slide. Just let them see the slides. See.
I hope everybody is okay with this. I think it's a very interesting, important topic, and I'm sure we can
See,
go on
each
and on.
technology company can buy out each country. For example, Apple can buy out Brazil. Microsoft can buy out Russia. Nvidia can buy out Mexico. And India can be bought out by many of these companies. So that is the power of technology. So I will take only 1 minute now.
Absolutely,
And I
sir.
will stop it actually. When there is a vibrant Gujarat happening every 2 years in Ahmedabad, in Gujarat. When the Nano was to be introduced,
So,
Tata ji said that
yeah, just if we can make it short
one
because
minute,
it's
1 minute.
almost 8:30
He
and
said
we
that
still have.
those who don't invest in Gujarat are fools, and I am no longer fools. I say that those who don't invest, not money alone, but even knowledge in semiconductor and AI, I will not call them fools, but they will suffer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this insightful points. Thank you so much for this. Meena Ben and Manasvi ji,
I will make it.
if you can make it very
Manasvi
short,
ji
very
has
quick.
given the cue. So I have only 2 points. What my mentor told me, as we are talking a lot about mentors, I am into manufacturing, and he told me that love your product, but don't fall in love with your product. And I think that has been a key in my business. What I like, passion. Youth talks a lot about passion. But what you are passionate about has to be saleable also. Be careful about that. So if you have to tweak your product, if you have to, yeah, so you do that. That was one mantra. And secondly, I would request all the young people here to explore the geo-indicative brands that the government is pushing. Huge market there, huge potential there. All our old brands, geo-indicative brand is a big craze nowadays. Search it on Google and look it up and go into it.
Thank you. I think the first point, the mantra that you said, is a takeaway for all the women entrepreneurs, especially. Manasvi ji.
The biggest quality of an entrepreneur is जो सुधीर जी की है. हंसने की बात नहीं है, seriously, कि he did not care कि time खराब हो रहा है. He did not care कि panelists wait कर रहे हैं. He did not care कि आप लोगों का interest है कि नहीं है. But what he wanted to say, he said. So that's what an entrepreneur is all about. I'll say whatever I have to do. I'll do whatever I want to do. You like it, you don't like it, that's a different issue. But you stand for what you want to do. So that is what the biggest learning would be from the audience point of view. From the panelist point of view, I'll not take that learning. But from the audience point of view, yes, you have to be a hustler. You have to stand for what you believe is right. So that's a big learning. Another thing which I want to just give a food for thought for you guys would be that we are talking about electric vehicles. We are talking about clean energy, green energy. इसका हैंडबुक व्हेन वाज दैट अवेलेबल कि अब अर्ली मूवर एडवांटेज कब होता है, वो आपको एक गाइडेंस में दे देता हूं. यूनाइटेड नेशन डज अ ईयरली मीटिंग एवरी ईयर. 1992 में, 1997 में दे डिस्कस्ड अबाउट ग्रीन एंड क्लीन एनर्जीज. उसके बाद ये कंपनीज बनने शुरू हुई. 1992 में, 2015 में 2015 में स्पेसिफिकली दे डिस्कस्ड अबाउट इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल्स. उसके बाद इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल्स वर्ल्ड ओवर स्टार्टेड बूमिंग. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज देयर इज अ थिंक टैंक, and the think tank of the world advisory happens at United Nations. What you do after this particular thought is, there was a Paris agreement in 2016-17 of United Nations. What is going to be the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals of the world in the next future, in the next 10 years, are going to be the next stage startup for the world. So this is where you can fill in the blanks. You can start up consultancies there, you can start up think tank there, you can start up startups there. Whatever is your forte, if you don't have a startup but you have a skill, you can align your startup as per the information of the world which is going to happen in the next 10-15 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manasvi ji. Kunaal, would you like to add anything to this?
So every organization has long-term and short-term goals. Powerful Group has a simple goal. In the next 3 years, we want to generate 50,000 employment opportunities by investing into 2,500 businesses. And this is possible only by getting good entrepreneurs on board who are receptive to knowledge, who are receptive to change, and who have the eagerness to grow forward. Thank you.
So I think I've been able to create this platform for you. All your questions have been kind of addressed, which of course there's short of time, and we promise you that we will come ahead with more such panel discussions very soon. I would like to hand over.
Nehal, once again, if anyone has any questions, okay, you can go to powerfulgroup.com/connect and you can ask whatever question, and our mentors will be more than happy to help you out with any kind of solutions that you have.
Also, we are here, so you can ask us questions right here. We both are here right now, and we have all our panelists also here for the dinner, and that's the reason why you all can network and discuss with them. So I would like to hand over quickly the mic to Urvi for the vote of thanks. Before that, I would just like to thank all the panelists out here. Thank you very much. Thank you for this insightful, discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you all, and thank you all. Today's panel discussion. Okay. Am I audible? Yeah. Today's panel discussion, Be the Unstoppable Entrepreneur by Leveraging the Growth of India, has been both meaningful and impactful. We extend our immense gratitude to each and every one who made this event possible. Thank you, Shri Amit Thaker, our esteemed panelist, Mr. Sudhir Naik, Mr. Manasvi Thapar, Mrs. Meena Kaviya, and Mr. Kunaall Devmane. Mr. Unmesh Dikshit, Director, Ahmedabad Management Association, Vicky National Elementary Education Council President, Ms. Nirali Dugli, Mr. Sailesh Patel, Mr. Vikas Thaker, Parthil Gogari, for your gracious support. I request all of you, please, to come on stage. As a token of our appreciation, we will now present mementos to all our panelists and our supporters. Also, special thanks to Mr. Unmesh Dikshit, Mr. Vedant Thaker, and Mr. Arpit Mehta. Yes.
I'll write. Unmesh ji is here. Okay. Nirali, please come on stage. Kunaal, please come so that we can give them the mementos and we can close the meeting.
Mr. Sudhir Naik. Not Meena Kaviya. Mrs. Meena Kaviya. Kadina. Mr. Sailesh Patel. Yeah, he's there. I don't think so. If Miss is Mr. Unmesh Dikshit present? If not, then somebody on his behalf can collect, please. Thank you.
This is on behalf of
AMA.
So I think AMA. I want AMA.
So we'll present the AMA memento. Huh. Vicky. Now we have the memento to be presented to the Wiki National President, Elementary Education, Miss Nirali Dudley. And the next memento to be presented.
One of our biggest support from the youngsters, Civilist Group, Parthil Gogari, please come on stage.
It's okay. Okay. We would also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to all our volunteers and would request Mr. Kunaall and Ms. Nehal to please give the certificates to the volunteers.
I would request the panelists to please give away the certificates to volunteers who have worked behind the scenes for this program. I think we can just call the volunteers on the stage. Please come on the stage so we can take a group photograph with them. We'll do the certification part later. Please come. At least I want all the volunteers on stage, please.
Yeah, volunteer, come.
Come.
Thank you so much.
All volunteers, please.
Thank you so much.
But volunteers, Parthil, please come on stage.
Thank you so much. Hey.
Thank you, everyone. Can you just come ahead?
Yeah. No. Come here. That's the point.